I am going into this series like almost completely blind. I guess what I didn't realize about the Assassin's Blade is that it is... We're gonna sit down and chat about it for like a while. Is that good? Okay. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Sounded like a robot saying that. Anyways, this video I've put off for literally a year now. If you couldn't tell by the thumbnail and the title, we're gonna be starting the Throne of Glass series. I'm genuinely so flippin' excited to start the series. I did just finish ACOTAR, so I'm kind of on like an ACOTAR high right now, and I'm like, I don't think anything could ever top that. But all of the comments on my TikTok page are saying that Throne of Glass is better than ACOTAR. I just don't know how I feel about that yet because ACOTAR was so good. It was a 5-star series for me. It was also my first book series that I actually have ever finished fully. So maybe it just holds a special place in my heart because of that. I don't know. But in today's vlog, I'm gonna be doing like a different video for each book. And then at the end, when I'm finished with the series, I'm gonna do like a whole overview of the series like as a whole. But I did decide to read Throne of Glass in chronological order instead of like release date order, which I know is not what the author recommends. I know Sarah J. Maas does not recommend that. And a lot of people on TikTok actually have very strong opinions about what order to read the series in. But I consulted my cousin who has read these books. Thank you, Abby. And I'm gonna do what she did. And I'm reading Assassin's Blade first. And most people on TikTok say not to do this. Actually, it's like 50-50 split. The people that do read this first have very strong opinions about reading this first, and the people that say to read Throne of Glass first have very strong opinions about reading Throne of Glass first. So honestly, I don't think it really matters that much, but this is like the prequel to the series. So I'm like, I would like to read it in chronological order, not release date order. That's just how my brain works. I would rather read it in chronological order. So that's reason enough, right? So in today's video, we're gonna start reading The Assassin's Blade. I'm genuinely so pumped. Let's just go ahead and get to reading. Okay, it's a little bit, lighting, hello. Okay, it's a little bit later in the day and I have actually read through the first little novella story, which is 75 pages in. So I've gotten 75 pages in so far. I guess what I didn't realize about The Assassin's Blade is that it is different little novellas all put into one book. I do want to also preface by saying I am going into this series like almost completely blind. I don't know what it's about. And I'm doing that for a reason because ACOTAR, I knew a little bit what it was about, so I knew that I was gonna love it. And everybody's saying Throne of Glass is better than ACOTAR, and I want to love it just as much, but I feel like I'm gonna love a series more if I don't know what it's about and it surprises me. So that's why I'm going into this kind of blind. I don't know what the storyline entails. Genuinely, I like know nothing about it, okay? Anytime I see a TikTok about Throne of Glass 2, I'm like swipe because I've been waiting for this moment for over a year and we're finally here. All that to say, I did read the first part of, or the first novella, and it's called The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit bored. I found myself a little bit bored, but my cousin did say this is the most boring book in the whole series and to push through it because this is more of like backstories going on with all of the characters rather than like the story itself, which is totally fine. That's totally normal. And I know that. I know that I have to push through it to be able to get to like the interesting parts of the story. But The Assassin and the Pirate's Blade, honestly, this reads a lot like ACOTAR, like the writing style. Obviously, Sarah J. Maas, I love her writing style anyways. It's so easy for me to read and to comprehend. I am, however, finding it a little bit more difficult to picture what the characters look like. In this book specifically, I think maybe in the next book, like technically the first one that was released, that I'll get a better idea of what the characters look like. But again, this was released third out of, I think there's 7 books. I don't remember exactly. But this book was released third, so not too much of an update, but I did want to tell y'all that I did read the first novella and I liked it. I'm just trying to figure out like why it's important, you know, and I probably won't know that until I continue reading the series. But the next novella in this book is called The Assassin and the Healer, so I'm anxious to see all of these characters kind of come into play with each other, and I'm anxious to see like how the characters are described, where the story's going, why these backstories are so important. So I think we've got a good foundation set for going on with this series. I'm gonna continue reading this and I'll catch back up with y'all when I read a little bit more and have more of an update. everyone. I've tried to film this part of the video like probably 12 times, but there's somebody power washing outside my front door and you can just hear it and it's so loud. So I had to like come into the bedroom and close the door. Anyways, all that to say, I finished Assassin's Blade and I know I haven't given very many like good updates, and we're gonna sit down and chat about it for like a while because there's a lot to digest with this book. Grab your fun drink and let's get to talking about the Assassin's Blade. First off, I would like to say this book has 5 different novellas in it. I'm gonna read them in order: The Assassin and the Pirate Lord, The Assassin and the Healer, The Assassin in the Desert, The Assassin in the Underworld, and The Assassin in the Empire. I think we last talked after I read just the first one, so we're gonna sit down and talk about them all in depth. If you don't like spoilers, please don't watch this. It's really hard for me to give a book review without spoilers, and usually I don't even watch book reviews with books that I want to read in them because I know that there's probably going to be some sort of spoiler in there. So if you don't want to hear anything about the series, if you haven't read it yet, please do not watch this part. Anyways, all that to say, let's get into talking about The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. I have notes because I would lose my train of thought if I didn't have notes. In this book, we are following Selena Sardathian. She is the infamous youngest teenage assassin, and we're kind of just following her story and everything that this leads up to everything that happens in this book. Again, this one came out first. Throne of Glass came out first, but these are all of the stories that led up to her being in the place she is in this book. So again, just different stories, kind of getting a backstory of everything she went through. We go through her relationships, we go through her defiance, we go through her just character building to better understand her as a character. But in The Assassin and the Pirate Lord, we have Selena and Sam who get sent on a mission from their master who's named Arabin. Sam is also another assassin in the Assassin's Guild. Arabin sends Selena and Sam to Skulls Bay to collect a payment from Captain Rolfe, the Pirate Lord. And essentially, Sam and Selena don't realize what they're there for, or they were lied to about what they were there for, and they realized that the payment was actually slaves, and they didn't like that it was slaves, and they actually ended up liberating the slaves, freeing the slaves. They openly defied Arobin to do that. So it's kind of just a story about how she defied her master. It shows how her and Sam's relationship kind of starts because she didn't trust anyone before that. So Sam helping her free those slaves kind of built her trust with Sam a lot. That's about it for The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. I mean, the second novella, The Assassin and the Healer, low-key I don't remember a lot about. I listened to a lot of this book on audiobook because me and Jake were traveling to Florida. We were driving to Florida, and while I was driving, obviously I couldn't read, so I would play it and listen to it, and I did listen to The Assassin and the Healer, and I feel like I just didn't comprehend it super well, and I also just don't know how it's important for the story yet, so maybe when I further get down the line in the book series, it'll spark my memory or I'll remember something else from this part of the book. But for the novella The Assassin and the Healer, Selena was punished for her like disobedience with defying Arabin and all the stuff in Skulls Bay, and she actually stops at an inn in like some coastal town and she meets someone named Wren Towers. I don't know if that's how you say her name. Her name is spelled like Y-R-E-N-E or something, but she's a young healer who wants to study healing in Antigua. I don't know why this is important yet, but Selena, I guess it just shows how Selena is building her character. I don't even know, but Selena ultimately ends up like helping her and giving her money to like pursue her passion despite Selena also being hurt from everything that happened in Skulls Bay. In The Assassin in the Desert, this one was probably the most interesting besides the last one. I did also listen to this one in audiobook, but it kept me more entertained. I feel like there was just more stuff going on to like keep me comprehending better. But Selena is sent by Arabin to the Silent Assassins to train in the Red Desert. She has to earn a letter of approval from their master or their like the leader of the Silent Assassins or something in order to be released, I guess, if I'm remembering correctly. But while she is training training with the Silent Assassins, she meets someone else who's also there to be training with the Silent Assassins named Ansel of Briarcliff. And Briarcliff is actually on the map in the book. It's right here. So Ansel of Briarcliff is who Selena meets and kind of befriends. Long story short, Selena ends up like trusting Ansel of Briarcliff and really shouldn't have because she betrays her in some sort of way, and we learn a lot about how Selena deals with that type of situation with betrayal and kind of loyalty and like self-discovery. That's pretty much The Assassin in the Desert. I don't want to give too much away about that one, but kind of gave you the important parts. That, again, was probably one of the more interesting novellas that I did read. The fourth one, The Assassin in the Underworld, kind of like the second one, I don't remember a whole lot about it. I will tell you like snippets of what I do remember, but again, I'm hoping that when I do complete the series or continue reading the series, that it kind of just sparks my memory of like, oh, that's what happened in this part of the novella, or you know what I'm saying? Wait, let me back up real quick. In The Assassin in the Desert, I don't think Sam was in that story much at all. I think he was still with Arabin at the Assassin's Guild, and if I remember correctly, Sam was also being punished in this time when Selena was at the Silent Assassin training with the Silent Assassins. So Sam wasn't really in that novella much at all, but he was in the fourth one. In The Assassin in the Underworld, Arabin surprises Selena with some gifts, and he claims to have changed and all this stuff. He ends up sending her on a mission to assassinate someone who is involved with the slave trade, and Selena and Sam in this story actually get really, really close and kind of build their connection on defying Arabin. Not defying him, but not liking Arabin. Arabin is a very manipulative character, and again, he's the master of the Assassin's Guild, or like their boss, I don't know what else to call him. They call him like their master, so. But initially Selena and Sam start talking about like building their life together, leaving the guild, all of these things, and Arabin's manipulation essentially kind of gets a foothold into their relationship a little bit, and they're kind of just trying to break free of control to kind of live their own life. In the Assassin's Guild, they have like certain rules, and they get sent out on these missions from Arabin and all these things. So Selena and Sam are just trying to figure out how to break free of that in this fourth novella. I've been talking for a long time. In The Assassin in the Empire, this is the last novella of Assassin's Blade. Selena and Sam are finally together. They're free from Arabin. They're trying to leave Rifthold together, but they actually end up taking one last job to make sure they have enough money to build this life that they want to live. And again, Arabin gets involved in this job that they secured, and Arabin's manipulation actually leads to a very, very devastating loss of some sort that I'm not going to say on camera because that would be a major, major spoiler. But in this last one, it was pretty shocking, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see it coming. I really didn't at all. So there's a very, very, very big plot twist in this last novella, and ultimately Selena gets captured by the king's men. And the story ends with her getting sent to Endovier, which sets the whole scene for Throne of Glass. And in Endovier, she is being held as a slave, essentially. She's like being held as prisoner. I don't know if it's slave or prisoner, but she's being held there. And they sentence her to 7 lifetimes of punishment. They also told the guards that they couldn't kill her because they want her to feel the punishment. So that's pretty brutal. Again, she's all in there because of what Arabin did. So it's all just manipulation from her previous master. And yeah, this whole novella series was just us trying to understand Selena as a character. And I'm really, really, really glad that I actually read this first. I feel like if I would have read this third or fourth whenever it was released, that I wouldn't fully understand Selena as a character. And again, she's like 17 in this book, or 18 in this book. So the maturity obviously isn't fully there yet, so we can kind of have more empathy for her as a character, especially with everything she's been through. In The Assassin in the Underworld, the last novella, you'll understand what I'm talking about with everything that she's been through, like truly been through, and just everything she went through with having Arabin as her master. That man is crazy. But again, she has been betrayed, she's been manipulated, she's dealing with grief of some sort, and again, I'm just glad that I read this first so that it really just sets the scene for Throne of Glass. That's my full review of The Assassin's Blade. I think I'm gonna rate this book 3.75 stars. That doesn't seem very high, but for a novella, for me, that is very high because I am not one to like novellas at all. I really don't like them at all. The ACOTAR novella took me over a month to get through, and it's literally like 200 pages. It's like this big. So 3.75 for this. Again, that's not a bad rating. I'm just hoping that the Throne of Glass like series lives up to everything that I've been hearing from every person on the planet Earth that has read it. So yeah, 3.75 stars. If you haven't read Throne of Glass yet, highly recommend reading it, even though I've only read one book. Like, we could read it together. How fun would that be? Comment below if you are reading Throne of Glass, or if you've already read it. And if you plan to read Throne of Glass, comment below when you plan to start your first book. And also let me know what order you read it in, because I'm so curious. Everybody reads it in a different order. But yeah, that's my full review on The Assassin's Blade. I'm gonna try and get one of these books read per week. I really want to finish the series before the end of the year, but again, I don't know if that's gonna happen at all. So I'm just gonna put these videos out as I get them done, very real time. And I finished this yesterday, so trying to get them up ASAP. I usually post Sunday mornings and Wednesday mornings, uploaded by 8 or 9 a.m. Also, let me know in the comments, do y'all like them posted around 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning? Because I just never know. I feel like 8 in the morning is better because you can kind of watch it like getting ready for work or on your way to work. But yeah, comment below and let me know that too. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. I'm so excited to continue doing this series. This might be my favorite series I've ever done on YouTube yet, even though I've only done 2. But I just love reading and I love sharing my thoughts and opinions about books. So yeah, thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also hype this video up because I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers and we're almost at 6,000. So that's so exciting and I love you guys so much. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without your support and your likes and your comments and everything in between. So I love you guys and I hope you have a great rest of your day and I hope you get to read. Mwah! Love you.